Let's talk for a minute. Let's have this conversation. But first things first, Papa Freaks. Just kidding. Welcome to CNN. I'm Kirk Kennedy. Let's go in. On this channel, when it's me and Strack, we take no part in the unfruitful works of darkness, but indeed expose them. Let's have this conversation. I'm going to show you right now how childhood game, a childhood game, just is describing what's happening in America. Like this is almost like imagine this is kind of an ironic thing, right? Where a childhood game becomes sort of a prophetic reality for what happens in your world. So this isn't going to be a long video. I'm in the mood for a quickie. All right, let's get this done. All right, when I was a kid, many of you people still do this, but now we're so digitized. I don't know if you can do this game digitally, but I'm sure someone's trying to make money from it. All right, but when I was a kid and I grew up, one of the ways that we made decisions, or like if you in the Bible, they casted lots, right? If you were a kid in the Bible, you had to cast lots. All right, when I grew up, the way that we made major world life-changing decisions was by paper, rock, scissors, right? Many of you know this. You got to know. If you don't know paper, rock, scissors, unsubscribe to me, get off of YouTube, do something with your life, right? All right, paper, rock, scissors. So each of you should be you and a friend, and you have your hand like this. Now, some people had a couple different ways. Some people cheated, but you always try to be like 1, 2, 3, boom. Some people would do it on 3, and they was cheating. I don't know how many people does it take to put a light bulb in, right? So this is how we did. We grew up. We were like this, and we make sure 1, 2, 3, boom. So be paper, rock, scissors, right? So be 1, 2, 3, scissors. 1, 2, 3, paper. 1, 2, 3, rock. All right. So each of these had their own specific thing. Like one could destroy the other depending on what you chose, right? So if you did rock, which normally you'd be like, everyone wants to be rock. However, in this game, paper covers the rock, right? So paper would beat rock. If you did scissors, well, scissors cut paper, but rock, can destroy the scissors. And then obviously, if you did paper, rock, you could cover that, but the scissors would cut you. So this was a childhood game. I'm sure many people still play. I want to show you right now how this game is describing what's happened in American culture, especially among those who profess to be believers. All right. So this paper, rock, scissors has become a prophetic game that's describing what's happening right now, what's happened to America, and particularly those who profess to believe. All right. All right. So first, let's start with paper. All right. So paper. 1, 2, 3, paper. All right. Paper, I'm going to use a couple scriptures for each of these. But I want you to think of this sort of metaphorically or analogically. Sometimes I get confused. Metaphors are usually likened as, or that's actually similes. And then they're all, you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying, right? So paper it used to be a slang word that meant money back in the day. When I grew up, got to get that paper, dog. All about that paper, y'all. Got to get that paper. It was a bunch of terms for money, but paper was one that was transcended. All right. So paper is going to resemble money. Let me give you just a verse just to think about this. All right. So you think of paper as money. And here's one of the things Jesus said right here. You guys know this one. It says, no one can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or he will be devoted to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve God and money. All right. So money is paper, right? So paper, rock, scissors. Here's paper, and we're going to call paper money. And then Jesus said this. And as for what was sown among thorns, this is one who hears the word, but the world and the deceitfulness of riches choke the world, and it proves unfruitful, right? So there are people, believers, who hear the gospel message, who may even profess to believe, but they are the deceitfulness of riches, of paper, choke out the word, and it proves unfruitful. All right, so that's paper. All right, let's go to scissors. Now, scissors can cut paper. But in this analogy, scissors is going to represent Satan, sort of the strategies, the schemes of the devil, right? All right. So you get scissors represents like the devil. Let's look at this passage. I've used this before here on the channel. Anyone whom you forgive, I also forgive. Indeed, what I have forgiven, if I have forgiven anything, has been for your sake, the presence of Christ, so that we would not be outwitted by Satan, for we are not ignorant of his designs. All right. So in this analogy, scissors would be cutting, what Satan likes to do, death by 1,000 cuts. All right. Ephesians 6:11. Put on the whole armor of God that you may be able to stand against the schemes of the devil. All right. So stay with me. So you got paper is money. Scissors is sort of the schemes of the devil, what he does. And then you got rock. All right. Let's define rock, biblically speaking. All right. So the honor is for you who believe, but for those who do not believe, the stone that the builders rejected has become the cornerstone. Right. So Jesus is the stone the builders have rejected. He's the cornerstone. Jesus is the rock. Right? 2:8. And a stone of stumbling and a rock of offense. They stumble because they disobeyed the word as they were destined to do. All right. So Jesus is the rock, right? That's a biblical reality. Jesus is the rock. Okay. It's biblical. So we got paper, money, rock, Jesus, scissors, Satan, the way he works. All right. This game describes what's happened in America, what's happening in America, especially among Christians. All right. So the paper, the money, covers the rock. You see? The love of money, the love of power, the love of paper, it covers the rock, Jesus Christ. It covers the stone. And Satan uses scissors to cut us up. So paper covers the rock, and Satan uses scissors to cut us up. I have a song called Paper, Rock, Scissors on this album, and I say, you let the paper cover the rock, and Satan use scissors to cut us a lot. You let the paper cover the rock, and Satan use scissors to cut us a lot. We're in the land of opportunity, but thinking from Satan we got immunity. Acting like God, he don't do impunity, like Galatians 6 isn't there for you and me. In America, Christians have let the love of money and power cover the love of Jesus Christ. And Satan has just been cutting us up, cutting up that money, putting it in the shreds. And this is largely what has happened in a lot of American Christianity. A lot of people who profess to believe are so choked out by the cares of this life and the worries of the world. In Matthew 4 says that the love of riches and the cares of this life, it choke it out. There are more believers who are worried about the things that the world is worried about and don't have any regard for Jesus as much anymore. So now we trust people like influencers and pastors. We'll look at any YouTube video, and if it even makes a semblance of sense, we'll trust politicians who come close, who are not even regenerated, who come this close to presenting themselves as true. But these people at the paper cover the rock. Money has covered Satan, has covered Jesus, and Satan has cut us up. I don't care if you don't like this video. I do.